Greetings and welcome to the Astronomy Picture of the Day podcast. Today's picture for April 13th of 2025 is titled An Unusual Hole in Mars. So what do we see here? Well, here we see an image of the Martian surface, and we're looking at a close up of just one section. And in fact, the hole to the upper right is about 100 meters, or the size of a football field in diameter. Now what we see with the two different colorations here, the whitish color is actually carbon dioxide. So that is carbon dioxide frozen onto the surface, what we call on Earth dry ice. And it's called dry ice because it undergoes sublimation. And that means it never gets wet. It doesn't melt like water ice does. What it does is it goes directly from solid into a gaseous state. And little bits of these holes here are likely areas where it's been a little bit warmer, it's warmed up, and those are the areas that have then already sublimated, that have turned into carbon dioxide gas and moved into the atmosphere of Mars. Now on Mars, interestingly enough, water would also be dry ice. It would never melt. And that's because of the very low atmospheric pressure on Mars. In that case, water ice would go, if it were warmed up enough, directly from a solid into a gaseous state. Now what we really want to look at here is that interesting hole up to the upper right hand side. Now what would cause a hole in the surface of Mars? And one of the biggest ideas, or best ideas we currently have, would be that it is a meteorite impact. But it actually seems to be digging down into a lower layer. So there may be different levels within the surface of Mars, and areas that have been hollowed out, perhaps by water that was present at some time in the past. And we may have punched through some of that with this impact of a meteor that occurred. You can actually see some of the carbon dioxide within even that hole. You can see the whiter color within that hole. Now that may tell us there that there may be caves down below the surface, and maybe a chance to get a peek into these and a way of studying them. Now, other idea is that these tunnels underneath are hidden from the sun. The sunlight sterilizes the surface of Mars. There is no possibility of life as we know it on the surface of Mars, simply because of the ultraviolet light that constantly sterilizes the surface. However, it doesn't take too much to block out ultraviolet light. So down below in these caves that may exist below Mars, there is a possibility that there could be some kind of simple life there, because we also know that Mars did at one point have liquid water and a much thicker atmosphere. So the conditions to have life would have been present on Mars billions of years ago. And the question is, did life actually form there? And if it did, does it still survive to this day? And that is a question we may someday be able to answer with robotic craft or human exploration that may look into some of these caverns below the surface of Mars. So that was our picture of the day for April 13th of 2025. It was titled An Unusual Hole in Mars. We'll be back again tomorrow for the next picture, previewed to be Radio Center. So we'll see what that is about tomorrow. And until then, have a great day, everyone, and I will see you in class.